90.7 WVAS. Stay close. NPR News is straight ahead, and right after NPR News, it'll be a special edition of You and the Music. My special guest will be the living legend in Montgomery, Alabama himself, Mr. Ron Handy. And he's in the studios with me right now. Ron Handy, my special guest for this morning's edition of You and the Music, right after NPR News, so stay close. This is Ron Handy giving his rendition of the classic, The Cool in You. This is WVAS FM 90.7.
You're listening to WVAS 90.7 FM in HD from the campus of Alabama State University, Montgomery, Alabama.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of You and the Music. My guest this morning is a multi-instrumentalist. He was born and reared in Montgomery, Alabama. He began playing guitar in grade school, and in junior high school and senior high school, he began to concentrate primarily on the alto saxophone. My guest participated in various county and state honor bands. During high school, my guest not only played in the marching, symphonic, and jazz bands, but he also arranged and composed the music for these bands. After high school graduation, my guest enrolled here on the campus of Alabama State University, where he earned a music degree with honors. My guest is presently employed here at ASU in the Department of Music. He has been the recipient of the ASU's President Excellence Award and has also been inducted into the Lanier High School Hall of Fame for creative musicianship and service to the community. He has also received numerous other awards for music and for community service. Throughout his professional career, my guest has performed with and has opened up acts for various jazz groups, pop and R&B, and gospel stars, including Kirk Whalum, vocalists Chrisette Michelle, Alicia Keys, Avant, Rochelle Farrell, Patti LaBelle, and the late Phyllis Hyman. Singing group Take Six, jazz groups Pieces of a Dream, Roy Ayers, Najee, trumpeteers Tom Brown and Wynton Marsalis, and the late George Duke and George Howard, just to name a few. My guest is a versatile musician with a love of different genres of music, gospel, classical, jazz, and pop and R&B extensively. He has served as the musical director and or lead musician for many theatrical productions, including The Wiz, Dreamgirls, Don't Bother Me, I Can't Cope, Pearly, Ain't Misbehaving, The Meeting, and many others. My guest has been featured on both local and national television, along with local and international radio. He has been featured on CNN, and he was the Artist of the Week on the internationally radio program Jazz from the City, hosted by renowned jazz DJ Ken Spiderweb. My guest has produced and performed on numerous recordings over the years. He has worked as a studio musician and engineer, as well as a producer and arranger for several recording projects, including television theme songs and commercial jingles. My guest has released his own CDs, which include smooth jazz covers of the R&B groups Jodeci, Forever My Lady, and jazz vocalist Diane Reeves, Come In. He has also recorded smooth jazz versions of other pop and R&B hits, including Brian McKnight's The Only One for Me. Being a spiritual person who loves to give honor and praise to God, my guest released a CD of gospel favorites titled Sign Me Up, which has received heavy rotation and acclaim from radio stations and listeners alike. Gospel and smooth jazz stations also embraced a CD titled He's Worthy. And throughout the years, my guest has been blessed to perform for wide and diverse audiences. He has versatility and has allowed him to become one of the most sought-after musicians in the Southeast. Having been given the gift of music, my guest gives thanks to God and many others. Oh, my goodness. And again, his music can be heard on jazz stations all over the world. to include here at WVAS. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to welcome my good friend to this edition of You and the Music, Mr. Ron Handy. Good morning, man.
Good morning, Kevin. How are you?
I'm blessed. How are you?
Good. I'm doing fine. Just blessed today. Glad to be here.
Well, first and foremost, on behalf of all of us here, thank you, because you're so busy. Thank you for finding some time to spend with us, and congratulations on having such a success as an educator and musician in the music world.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate WVAS, and I feel like I'm part of the family here. This is where it all started for me. Alabama State University, WVAS. I just love the atmosphere, the people that work here. It's just an awesome time.
Well, you are part of the family. You're some kin. You're some kin. So, Ron, let's talk about you and the music. Now, Ron, you actually come from a musical family. Is that where it all started for you?
I'm sure that's where it all started because Mom, Dad played instruments. My mom was a piano player. My father was a saxophone player. So I heard music at home all the time, and all of my siblings play. My brother Cromwell plays, my brother Derek plays, sister Veronica, Victoria, they all played an instrument. So when I was coming up, I heard music, either recorded music or the radio was on, or I could hear my parents playing music because we also did church functions, and I started out playing in church at Mount Zion, AME Zion Church, and still play there. So it's been a wonderful time to just listen to music all the time. And when I was a kid, sometimes even when music wasn't playing, I still heard music in my head sometimes.
Well, Ron, to actually pursue a career in music and to share your music with others, when did you come to realize that music was going to play a major part of your life?
I think that was early on, grade school, actually, in grade school. When I started out just listening to music and hearing music, and my father surprised me with the saxophone. I guess I was maybe 11 or 12. And it really blossomed from there, getting into the school band. But the more I learned about music, the more I became just intrigued by how far can this go in terms of just how good could I become with the music. What effect it had on people. And as I said, starting out when you're playing in church,
right,
you see that effect immediately when you play. When you go in and you play an Amazing Grace, you see what it does to your audience. And that's the thing that made me realize that, music is a powerful tool. Music is a very powerful tool that was given to us by God. So I just really thank him for that, and I'm appreciative to be able to still be doing music.
I hear you.
But it was early on, maybe grade school.
I hear you.
Right.
When you found out that you were a descendant of the late, still great W.C. Handy, how much of an incentive was that for you?
I have an interesting story about that. When I found out, I was, I guess maybe seventh grade, something like that. When I found out, people in the class were teasing me about it because I wasn't really. The W.C. Handy connection was not really a big thing at home. We didn't talk about that.
Right? Really?
No. So I'm in class, and the teacher is teaching about, I guess it's Black History Week and Black History Month or whatever, and we're talking about great African Americans. And she said, well, W.C. Handy, the father of the blues. Now, mind you, I'm sitting around we're all little kids, we're all sitting around. So as the teacher said, well, he did blues music. And we have someone in the classroom who's related to W.C. Handy. So all the students started laughing because no one listened to blues in this class. So my first introduction into it was kind of interesting because people would tease me.
Right.
Say, your granddad or whatever. Your granddad was a blues teacher. He was a blues singer. So I learned to appreciate it once I delved more into it, to see exactly what was this man doing and what was he all about. And honestly, it became an incentive because I realized as my career went on that we were pretty much parallel doing the same type of things in terms of producing your own things and just spreading music wherever you could.
Right.
Just having a love for it. So it really became an incentive for me to keep going, to continue doing that.
I hear you, man. Well, Ron, you have served as a musical director, lead musician for many theatrical productions to include, as we said before, The Wiz, Dreamgirls, Don't Bother Me, I Can't Cope, Pearly, Ain't Misbehaving, The Meeting, and so many other productions. What was that experience like for you?
An honor. Actually, the first thing I can say is just honor, because one thing, when you work with other musicians and you're supposedly, it taught me how to be a director in terms of how to delegate what part is played by whom. And some of these things I had to actually arrange some of the music, so that made quite a challenge for me to learn how to the different how can I put it, the different limitations
Right.
of the different instruments. So from arranging in high school, it also carried over into that, to actually working with ensembles. The rewarding part of it is I'm always working with musicians who are excellent at what they do, and I love being in that environment where the musicians are as so skilled at what they do that it makes it easy. So the only thing I have to do is it's like coaching almost.
Right,
I'm not the lead guy, so I end up, it will say that I'm the lead guy, but
Yeah.
I'm actually enjoying how proficient these other musicians are at what they do. And
Right.
sometimes it's the musicians and singers if we're doing one that's a musical.
You've traveled the world, so to speak. I mean, now you're here in Montgomery, Alabama.
Right.
But it was one morning you called me from Martha's Vineyard,
Right.
and you I mean, God bless you, man. You had the station playing on the loudspeakers there at Martha's Vineyard, but
Right, through the computer.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right,
yeah,
right.
yeah. But you were performing at Martha's Vineyard,
Right.
And you've been all over the country performing. How wonderful has that been to have such a network of people appreciating your music and having you perform at other cities across the country?
Well, that's something that I really, really love. I guess that's the part of it, to be from here,
Right.
but to not necessarily be stuck. Some people say, well, you
Right.
you can go this place or go that place.
Right.
But I mean, I guess it's just by divine order that I've met so many people who are internationally known, who are out doing things in
Yeah.
some kind of way. Either they come through here, or either I get a call to go somewhere and perform. And the wonderful thing about it is, let's say Martha's Vineyard, for instance, people were there at this event from all over the place. Italy, Paris. I'm meeting people from there, and the response to the music was just overwhelming. So with the way things are nowadays, you can be from Montgomery, Alabama, which is a wonderful city. I
Yes.
love it. It's home.
Yes.
But at the same time, you can network and go all over the country and go all over the world.
Man, that's a wonderful feeling. Wonderful. Ron, you've been an educator for many years.
Mm-hmm.
Does music have a grand capability of being a great positive distraction/attraction for our young people, keeping them off the streets and keeping them busy with something they can really embrace and love?
Yes. That's great. That's a great analogy of that. That's exactly what it is. In fact, when I was in high school, music was the thing that motivated me to go to school. The other classes were okay. Of course, I went to my other classes. I had to graduate and everything.
Right,
But
right.
music, being in the band, was such a wonderful thing. And I noticed that even here at Alabama State, there are many students that come here because the band is the attraction, or the music department is the attraction.
Is that right?
That's right. Now, once you get here, we also have a responsibility to talk to these young people and let them know that, okay, you have to take care of your other business. But if music is the thing that you really, really enjoy, do it. In fact, a lot of times I'm here after hours, sometimes very late, just talking with students about things that may not even relate to music, because we're also in the process of trying to make a complete person, trying to do what we can to make sure that not only are you good with music, but what else is going on in your life, because you may have something that's distracting you from your music, and whatever that is, we need to deal with that so you can get to your music and also feel complete. music has the ability to take you so many different places in terms of your spirit, because music is not just an academic subject.
Right.
The music that comes out of you in large part comes from what's in your spirit and what's in your heart. So along with learning the notes and the scales and everything, if your spirit is down, your music is going to be down.
Well,
if your spirit is up, your music is going to be up.
I've talked with some young people, and it's amazing when I ask them what their major is.
Mm-hmm.
Their major could be computer information systems. Their
Right.
major can be forensic science.
Right.
But their minor is music. And I'll ask them, I said, well, a minor in music? I mean, well, I just love music, and I want to learn more about music.
Right.
I said, well, and I didn't question. I said, whatever turns you on, whatever boat you float.
Right.
I mean, but that means that the attraction might be music.
Right.
For them to stay exactly where they are.
Right.
To continue their studies.
Right.
Because there's a balance there for them to at least appreciate what they're listening to,
Right.
what they're playing.
Right.
And handle the studies at the same time. So
Right.
with the help of what your wisdoms over the music department are doing is keeping them balanced
Right.
educationally.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Because as I said before, one thing influences the other. Music has the ability to be an attraction to many different things. I mean, sometimes someone will come in my office and I may have gospel music playing, and they may be going through something, and it may be a song that's playing that may minister to them and help them with whatever they're dealing with that may have nothing to do with music. It may be something else that they're dealing with, something happening at home. So I really, really have come to realize over the years that music is such a reflection of what's going on in life. And you have to be careful what music you listen to, because we also know that
That's right.
music can be destructive.
And well, it can be. It can
Right,
be.
right.
It can be. But let's be thankful that there's nothing destructive going on in the music department here in the campus of Alabama State.
Absolutely.
Nothing but positive feedback, positive education from folks like you.
Well, thank you so much. Our department, in fact, the whole College of Visual and Performing Arts, under the leadership of Dr. Tommy Stewart and Dr. Camacho,
Right.
Mr. Capelli and Dr. Wendell Coleman, doing theater, we are in the process of just trying to take everything to the next level in terms of awareness with our students, as far as the music that they're allowed to perform,
Right.
the music that they're able to concentrate on.
Right.
There are new programs being offered over there. There's a wonderful dance recital that's going on actually tonight, that's been going for the last 2 or 3 days. So we are just in the process of trying to be positive and trying to make sure that what we're doing is constructive and not destructive.
Now, where are you headed? Where are you headed from here?
Well, from here, I'm headed to Bethel. No, I'm sorry. I'm headed to the Church of the Ascension as soon as I leave here, because Reverend Ed Nettles from Free Will,
That's right.
Missionary Baptist Church, is going to be speaking.
That's my pastor.
All right now, and he's going to be speaking to a group of young people
Right.
about the very thing that we're talking about staying focused. This is sponsored by the New Beginnings Resource Center, which actually tutors kids and helps to keep them on the right path as far as that direction in school and graduating and all of that.
Well, Ron, listen, thank you so much for carving out some time this morning to spend with us. You've shared a great deal, and you've done a great deal.
Thank you.
And the world needs to know all about what you're doing and what you're playing.
Thank you.
So listen, man, thank you so very much for being a part of this edition of You and the Music.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate the station under the leadership of Candy Capel and yourself and all of the others who are involved with making the station being as wonderful as it is, and want to invite people to come to my website if they want to stay up on what I'm doing.
And what is the website?
The website is www.ronhandy.com, and the wonderful thing about that is that a student here at Alabama State University is the one who's actually doing the website.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes,
Wonderful.
Student Derek Long, student here at Alabama State. So we're working on some things. There are new projects that are being in the works right now. Of course, I'm still doing production with Christina Mims.
Okay.
Still singing. So
Okay.
along with my own production. So we're working on some things and pulling things together.
Well, listen, Ron, thank you so much. 23 minutes past the hour of 10 o'clock. You've been listening to a conversation with living legend of Montgomery, Alabama, Mr. Ron Handy. It's another edition of You and the Music right here on 90.7 WVAS. That's Ron Handy and one of his compositions called Sign Me Up. It's 30 inside the hour of 10 o'clock here at 90.7 WVAS. Your weather forecast has got sunny skies in it today. It's going to be a cool one. The high reaching 62, partly cloudy, very cool tonight with the low near 40. Partly cloudy skies stay with us on Sunday. It'll be warmer too, the high reaching 67 degrees. And partly cloudy skies remain, 10% chance of rain Sunday night with the low near 45 degrees. Tuskegee 54, Troy 55, Selma 53. Downtown Montgomery has a brisk 48 degrees under sunny skies. FM 90.7 WVAS HD and streaming online at WVASFM.org.